a great Thursday, the 22nd of August. Welcome everyone to your Frontier Opening Bell. I am Bosun Namafai, and this is how we're getting today's started. Quite a whole lot to digest across the continent. But first, as always, try to give you a sense of how the equities markets are finished off. The previous day, a flattish line for the Egyptian stock market, just when we thought it's going to take the EGX 30 into the 30,000 territory. The market paused that yesterday. Today is the final trading day in Cairo. We'll see what happens between now and when the market will reopen on Sunday for the final business week in the month of August. Take it to the top of the table with the Nigerian market down by 0.1%. The shares of Rwanda and a few other big names in the banking sector went underwater on Wednesday. FBN Holdings, JITCO, and a few other names within that territory. And you got a BRVM in Cote d'Ivoire better by 0.18%. That took the composite index, the BRVM, slightly more above the 250 reading. The Nairobi stock market was a very huge 1.56% upside. On Wednesday, about roughly 15 million shares were traded on the Nairobi market. Safaricom took about 90% of that, about 14.6 million ordinary shares of that out. So that's the biggest trade of the day. The market was also positive across the board where you talk about the companies making some gains. Quite a very decent Wednesday, by the way. The GSE in South Africa was better by 0.3%, taking the Osher index in Johannesburg above the 84,000 reading. So let's walk you through the headlines in East Africa as we see things moving on. Today, Razio, yesterday, had President Felix Tshisekedi of the DR Congo officially launching the country's largest data center. That's the third that the country is building within that corridor, with Mozambique and Ethiopia data centers also built. The project in DR Congo, which is launched in Kinshasa, was $30 million. In the meantime, the KCB bank in Kenya has reinstated dividend 1.5 shillings is what has been paid for the first half of the year. Profit jumps 87%, despite the ratings haircut that was given the bank alongside a few other names such as INM and NCBA over the last few days by Fitch Ratings. KCB is still paying dividend, by the way. The DP World's Dar port operations, that's in Dar es Salaam, is looking to save Tanzania about $600 million dollars. And Ethiopian Airlines is looking to construct Africa's largest airport in Abu Sera. It's going to be a mega project that will wow everyone, runs into billions of dollars. It's going to have hotels, it's going to have a whole lot of facilities. Ethiopia is digging in as Africa's #1 destination when it comes to airport facilities. The new airport will take the total figure of visitors, passengers to 100 million. And that's quite ambitious. Ethiopia, congratulations for getting that going. In the meantime, the new securities exchange is nearing its official takeoff for trading, with advanced trading platform now being put in place. And Rwanda Central Bank lowers its interest rate to 6.5%. That's official key lending rate on Wednesday. That's the second time in a row so far this year. So Rwanda has joined Tanzania, Namibia, Kenya central banks lowering interest rates. Zambia did a hold at its July meeting. All eyes now set on South Africa's central bank to do a rate cut of at least 25 basis points in September, as well as Nigeria's central bank also in the third week of September, whether the central bank in Nigeria will do a hold, at least in the meantime. Let's take it to West Africa. And of course, the whole fuel queues in the gas stations and all that, prices going through the roof, impacts in transport and food is not over yet. This morning, the Central Bank of Nigeria releases July report for the business expectation survey, showing just 0.31 reading in July, but expectations over the next 3 to 6 months were slightly positive and better. Key issues for folks in agriculture, industry, mining, and services has to do with electricity, insecurity, inflation, as well as exchange rates. Ghana and Liberia, by the way, has joined the growing list of countries in West Africa looking to set up new and independent refineries. In the meantime, Dangote Refinery is expected to deliver its first petrol in the month of September, while Nigeria said it will no longer allow wasteful spending, at least not at the COP29 summit scheduled to hold in Azerbaijan. That's according to Ajuri Ngelale, the ministers, the president's envoy on climate change and special assistant to the president. And Cocoa Board in Ghana says it's no longer going to look for syndicated loan to fund its operations for the 2024-2025 cocoa season. And raw sugar prices fell 2.6% early yesterday to $17.56 a pound at the New York Stock Exchange, at the New York City market, while the London market had white sugar trading down 2.0%. Let's walk you through quickly the Southern Africa headlines this Thursday. SARB, of course, is investing $2.7 billion in Free State infrastructure, while South Africa inflation came in at 4.6% for the month of August, and that's giving the SARB Monetary Policy Committee in a knife to cut interest rates at its September 19th meeting. Zimbabweans are using the ZIC to pay for 40% of transactions. That would be some good news for the Ministry of Finance and the Central Bank. And President Chakwera of Malawi is in Germany for trade and investment talks with his counterparts, while duty-free sugar imports has dented Hippo of Zimbabwe volume by 7%. That was between January and June this year. And finally, in North Africa, things are not really easy right now for Libya, with the plans to appoint a new central bank governor. The central bank says it's stopping operations because the head of the ICT was abducted. There's still an issue around security and the political impasse within the country. And all that's a part of the report, which was presented by a UN envoy to the president of the UN Council just a few days ago. Egypt and Saudi Arabia, however, are pushing ahead with electricity and interconnectivity. Egypt is also ramping up on its electricity or gas import from Israel. That went up 11.2%, according to the latest data. In the meantime, the EU is backing Egypt's industrial sector with about 8 million euros. In the meantime, Spain says it's increasing gas exports also to Morocco. And those are your headlines right now on Frontier Opening Bell. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy it. And I'll see you again tomorrow, Friday, to wrap up the business and markets week.